Level up loading, level up loading.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Level Up Loading Fight Feelings Face Facts with yours truly, Shay. I have a special guest for you guys, someone who was supposed to be on literally like one of my first interviews, but life happened, so we had to, make sure that we did make that happen. Ashley, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I'm Ashley.
Hey girl,
Hey.
Anything that you want to let the audience know about yourself?
Not so much about myself. I just do want to say I'm very proud of you. I've been watching you, and since the start, I've been so intrigued by how you just started off and you just transitioned, and it's been a beautiful sight to watch you grow.
I appreciate you, girl. Don't see, it's too early to be crying now.
No.
No, but I definitely do appreciate you. And I'm so glad that we finally have been able to get this going, because this has been something I've been looking forward to. So let's go ahead and dive into our topic for today.
Okay.
So we kind of had like a multifaceted topic plan that we kind of wanted to do today. We were going to be talking a little bit about friendships and healing, and also the mental capacity that comes with, dealing with those friendships and those healing processes and things like that. So one of the first questions I want to ask you, obviously, we grown now. We grown, you know what I mean?
Grown.
So how has your outlook on friendships changed since, from childhood, teens, and then obviously to this adult stage?
Well, to be quite honest, I've always felt like I've had a hard time maintaining friendships with females.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a trigger from maybe, my relationship with my mom, but from the start, I've always noticed that, I've always felt like I didn't fit in with all the other girls. So once I did, find a friend or a best friend, that's something that I cherished wholeheartedly because, I'm a loner by nature. So once I share my space with someone, I think that's very special, and we develop a bond, of course. But along this journey, I will say that I have lost a few friends. I've gained a few, but the ones that I've lost, I considered family. And I don't know if it was something, connected to my own transition, I think I spoke prior to you before about me lacking boundaries, how I was just always easygoing and going with the flow and not really just, being firm on certain things. So it seems like as I got older and I went through a few experiences and I became more firm, I was just always so easygoing. And once I did, start to discover boundaries, how I need those, how important those are, and I started to implement those, I've noticed that certain things changed. I lost a few people, things that I probably would have ignored before. I had a voice now.
How dare you, Ashley?
I know, right? How dare you have
like you have something
how dare you love yourself?
You have feelings and you have things that are hard-nosed for you? No way.
But I also have to be honest. I don't know if because of what I was going through that my delivery on certain things were probably just a little bit or just
also it was
maybe sometimes ignorant,
but also it's a new thing for you. Like it's a trial run for you. You know what I mean? You don't know how to implement these, and so you feel like, hey, I have to speak up. I have to get my voice heard. And sometimes that delivery is not always the best.
Even something as simple as just disagreeing. Maybe they've done something that morally I don't agree with, or it doesn't align with me. And I'm starting to notice certain things and realizing it. And, my frustration and not knowing how to express like, hey, I'm not comfortable with what you just did or what you just said. It could have probably been passive in the beginning with me. So, we all have a lot to learn, but it was hard losing friends, but I think I've developed a space where I questioned, were they really my friends? Because if we locked in, ain't no switching up. That's just how I feel.
Like you're supposed to be able to, you're supposed to be able to evolve with me. That's how we think.
Exactly.
That's how we think. But a lot of times people are attracted to us for the lack of boundaries, or you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's not necessarily on purpose, but they want that easygoing friend. They want that low maintenance friend, and when you don't become that, then it's like, well, what's your purpose?
Exactly. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I need somebody else I could probably, just say whatever to and do whatever with.
Yeah. Sadly, but that's sometimes can be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, friendships are hard, whether they are with men or women. Do you find that your relationships with men are easier for you to navigate?
You know what? I thought so. I thought I was that type of girl that connected easily with men.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, no disrespect to males at all, but I must say this.
Keep it real.
I must say this. I find that more men are operating on a more emotional level than ever before. And, they have emotions and feelings that are kind of similar to women. And I think that their frustration is they don't know how to express it. So I have bumped heads with a few male friends that I've had, just simple things like opinions, how I feel about this versus how they feel about that.
Yeah.
So it's challenging both ways, but I think it's just everyone is growing and everyone is on their own journey and figuring this out on their own. So being able to collaborate with other people is getting harder and harder and harder.
Because everybody's on their own different separate wavelength and everyone is trying to figure out, like you said, figure it out. And I definitely get it. I mean, that's something that we're supposed to be doing, and this is the time to do it. So it does make sense, but it's kind of hard to reconcile your mind with how that looks sometimes. Like, this is a person who I thought was going to ride with me to, we was old and gray, and then it's like now I have to be okay with like seeing their journey go a separate way than what mine might possibly be. So I definitely get it, girl. It's hard, but it's a part of the process. And
it is, definitely.
I don't know if you watched my last interview, but I was saying, like, if a person is going this way and I'm going this way, but we still trying to hold on to each other, we stopping each other. Either we're dragging each other or we're stopping each other. And that's not healthy no matter what way you put it. So you got to make that choice,
Exactly.
Okay, so, I mean, this is a big topic for me, and this is kind of one of the things that I've noticed that since I removed it from my life, it has made the connection thing harder when it comes to friendships, specifically with women. And I think I saw you post something about it, which was so funny because it was right in line with one of my questions. So how do you deal with, okay, let's start with this. How did you deal with gossip in your past versus how you deal with gossiping now?
Not on my watch.
Wow, that is something huge to speak on. Along my journey, I'm just learning that gossiping kind of keeps you low.
Yeah.
It doesn't elevate you. You're talking about someone and we don't know the struggles that everyone has or what they're going through. So respectfully, it's kind of wrong. It's negative,
Yeah.
And why do I want to participate in something so negative so often? It seems like the only conversation that people are intrigued with having is specifically about gossip, and a lot of the times I've noticed that if it's nothing to talk about in regards to somebody else, it really ain't shit to talk about. So, back then, being young and being ignorant, of course, I participated in gossip, I think we all did.
Yes, absolutely.
But right now I'm at a place where I don't want to speak negatively about anyone, because I don't like that energy about me.
Yeah.
I don't like when people place that on myself. So I try it's not the easiest thing to do because it's so easy to fall into something, but I try to stay mindful enough to consider what the other person could be going through before I just spread their business or, do something along those lines.
It's so real that you said that you never know what you never know what someone else is going through, because it's like, I remember personally myself, this is past me, not me now, but being in group chats and just the negativity and toxicity that was there, like the screenshotting of people and talking about people, and like, how is this uplifting? How is this helping me? How is this helping that person? Like, this is terrible. this
Exactly.
is actually very unproductive way to use your time. So I noticed for myself personally, like, having to nip that in the bud and find a pleasant way, because I'm kind of like you, like, either I'm gonna be chill, go with the flow, or I'm gonna be stern.
Period.
Those are my two things. You know, it's like I'm learning to find that middle ground. But initially, it was like, well, I don't want to talk about that. I don't care what she got going on. Hold the tea. I don't care about the tea. I want some water. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not even thirsty, matter of fact, because it's like,
right.
how is it that all we have to bond over is talking about people, being negative, and honestly just joking and being rude to other people? Like, that's not the type of person I am. And like you said, it's hard because it's easy to fall into that habit of just going with the flow.
And just the whole point of judging, you know, it's judging, you know, who am I to judge? Who are you to judge? I'm trying to stay away from those people that are very judgmental, you know, quick to lash out words at you for making a simple mistake, or you know, there's some things that you may do that you're not aware of. And, you know, it's some people that are very ignorant, that don't know how to communicate. And, hey, you hurt my feelings, or, you know, instead of them expressing how I hurt them, it's, oh, you this, you a hypocrite, you this, you fake, you phony, you know, it's all of that. Like, I can't handle that, because that makes me flip.
And then
because that's not how you handle things.
Then once that happens, it's all bad. Like, we don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
So I'm trying to definitely be mindful about who I surround myself with and what I indulge in, because it's going to take me back down to a place I'm really wholeheartedly trying to escape from.
And probably have escaped from. Honestly, it's still there. It's still there for if you need to pick it up. But but you know, you have escaped from it. So it's like, don't make me go back into this closet, in the back of this closet, and go grab this. You know what I mean?
My feelings are so hurt once I feel like I have my group or my circle or whatnot, or my people. And then, you know, one little incident is just, we can't communicate. That really hurts my feelings, because I feel like I work so hard in protecting my peace and being my best self. And I'm not there yet. I'm not completely innocent. I'm not perfect. I'm in the stages of becoming.
Yeah.
And, like you said, it's so easy to fall back into those triggers. So recognizing triggers is a must for me. And that's what I'm focusing on lately. Just recognizing, like, what affects me, what bothers me, who bothers me, how they bother me, and what I need to do, you know, to avoid it.
Absolutely. Man, you just said something right there, because avoiding it is key. You don't want to be taken back to that direction.
Because that's such a dark place.
So do you have any accountability, in which I feel like you have definitely been accountable for your part that you play in the roles of how people interact with you and vice versa, and how you have shown up in friendships? So do you have situations where you feel like you could have been a better friend?
Oh, definitely. And, you know, it's been a long time that I felt this way. I haven't always felt like I was the best friend to certain people. I've done things that was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been there for certain occasions or, you know, important moments, but I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but I was suffering from something during those moments, or maybe I didn't feel my best self and they didn't understand. Like, I'm the type of person that would avoid people if I'm feeling messed up or if I'm having a bad moment.
Yeah.
So even in, you know, besides that fact, I feel like I could have been a better friend to certain people, and I could have done things a lot differently, and maybe I would still have certain friendships. But that's in my early stages, you know. I'll say, like, in my 20s. Anything that happened in my 30s, I can be accountable enough to say that I probably participated in maybe, you know, keeping things stagnant. You know, if we do hit a bump in the road, I could be stubborn sometimes
and
too.
just let it stay there.
Yeah, but evolving and growing has taught me that if I love somebody and if I care enough about them, you know, it's nothing wrong with putting up a little bit of fight.
Absolutely.
So I think that once I transitioned into, you know, my mid-30s, well, I'm in my mid-30s now, but, you know, after 30, I started to look at things a little bit differently and try my best to handle things a little bit differently. But, you know, I feel as though I can be accountable.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's...
I see it. And I think that's a major sign of growth, because so many times people are ready to point the finger all the time. And don't get me wrong, people are, you know, people do stuff to you. You know, they are wrong. But we also just have to have that introspection to, you know, to be able to say, hey, I played a part in this as well. Do you want to share anything? Like I said, no names if you don't want to. Do you want to share any friendships that were core for you, that you have lost? I mean, I know you said you had lost a few of them, but what happened? Like, in a generic sense. You don't have to get specifics, but like, just like what actually happened that kind of tore the friendship, you know, apart?
I'll try to be as dry but detailed as possible. I don't want to make anybody feel bad.
Yeah, you know, you don't gotta give all the tea. We're not trying to accept no tea, remember, but just a small synopsis of what happened.
I'll go with I'll say my dearest friend. It was someone that I was friends with since grammar school. And, you know, we did hit a few bumps in the road before along our journey. But I'll say about 2 years ago, we hit a patch that we never really... I honestly don't understand how it got so bad, to be quite honest. It was just me, you know, relaying information to this person about how I chose to handle something involving our children. You know, and I'll be honest, I probably was a little bit this day. I had a lot of going on. And I know that my friend probably didn't understand the gist of it, or, you know, where I was at mentally. But, you know, I guess I offended her somehow, some way. But to be honest, at the time, I didn't see anything that I said being offensive. Yeah. I just thought like, okay, everyone was having a moment. But it kind of went further to where what I thought would be a lifelong friendship ended abruptly. And that day was the last day I spoke to my friend. And I had to really literally mourn this person. It affected me deeply because I loved her. This was somebody who knew everything about me and I knew everything about them. You know, I would wake up to a phone call from them, you know, sometimes go to sleep talking to them or, you know, talk to them all day throughout the day. So just losing that, but also realizing how easy it was for that person to just stop, you know, everything with me. It made me think like, you know, that's not love. That's not genuine. I wouldn't dare just abruptly stop talking to someone over something so minor to what I thought was minor. Yeah. But I guess everyone is different, but that's just one. I kind of feel like we lost something great over something so small. Another one is once I went through a situation with my ex-husband, you know, I thought that this person was just my friend, although I connected with him through this person. I just thought that her and I had, you know, a stronger bond. So when it came to, you know, us separating and me knowing and my friends knowing as well that he did something very bad, I didn't think that they would have any respect for him, you know, except for the common just human respect. Yeah. But, you know, I kind of feel like our friendship was kind of ending because I felt like the only communication we had is when I was telling her my business. You know what I'm saying? About what happened with my husband and I. It's like they were so intrigued to hear about that. But then, you know, conversation was dry. Mm-hmm. So, you know, eventually his birthday came up and I noticed that my dear friend took it upon herself. My friend took it upon herself to, you know, wish him a happy birthday. Mm-hmm. And I felt definitely heartbroken by that because I'm like, wow, it's like you're kind of supporting him still in a way. Yeah. And he just hurt me and my children. So, you know, that kind of made me side eye some things too, but I'm still not all the way there yet with expressing myself either.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'll just shut up and not say anything about what happened and just let it go or whatnot. So that's something that I didn't express, but at the same time, I had to question if I was selfish for even having that feeling, thinking that, you know, she owes me everything.
Yeah.
You know, is that a sense of entitlement that I have? So, you know, that's kind of why I didn't really choose not to say anything to her about it, but it did affect me. I don't know if this sounds petty or not, but you know, it's just small things kind of matter. They speak volumes to me because it really shows character.
Okay, so in that case, you didn't mention it, but was that the end of the friendship, or you guys were still cool after that?
You know what? The end of the friendship is so stupid. I hate even repeating it.
Like, I don't even want to share the details because it's so petty. You don't have to.
It's so petty. It's so petty, but no, you know how sometimes you may make a post and someone may get offended and think that it's about them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I have, you know, passively made posts about some people, but not my friends, you know, not anybody that I feel like I care about deeply or dearly. Yeah, definitely. I feel like everything has been petty because I'm not about to just end something so dear to me over something so minor that could be talked out or discussed. But, you know, people have their own inner thoughts and inner feelings, and you never know what that is. It could be something that I've done that I don't know, you know, that I did to them, but I'm expressive. Like, I'm the type of person who's going to say, hey, you know, I may be a little bit mad at first, but eventually, you know, I'll come out and be like, hey, what you said did this, or made me feel X, Y, Z. And I feel like if I can't have that mutual respect or bond, that, you know, we don't have anything.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it's sad because we always, because I know you kept saying that it's petty, but it's usually, that's just like the last straw. And a lot of times people have underlying resentment towards you. And I'm not saying this is the case. I don't even know who you're talking about or, you know, the situation whatsoever. But sometimes people have things that we do, like you said, that they don't speak up on, and then it builds up, and then once something happens, that's the last straw.
Exactly.
That's why it's so easy for them to kind of walk away, because they already been irritated with you, or they already have problems with something you were doing, but they didn't express it. And so when you do have those moments where you're truly just having a bad moment, that's like the straw that breaks the camel's back, and you're sitting here looking like we only had one problem, not knowing that you actually had 17 problems.
It was building and building and building.
Unfortunately, you know,
right?
Sad.
Right.
It really is sad, because you have to mourn those relationships. You have to. That's a soul tie. People don't understand.
Definitely
soul ties
is
not just through you know, humping
male
and
female, or yes,
you know, your friendships are very intimate.
They are, and I don't feel I only have intimate relationships. Yeah. It is. But I have gained some great friends. I have gained a great sisterhood with a few women over the time. You know, I met them later on in life, and you know, right now these are people I share common interests with, and we have common personalities, and you know, we mesh well together. And if we do come across an issue, it's easily resolved. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't go far at all. So I am very grateful for those that I do have.
Yes, come on now. New healthy friendships are always
okay
at A1 plus. Okay, but you know, okay. So you have girls, you have daughters. You are a mother.
I'm a mother,
and we have seen so many like instances recently, with friendships being somewhat dangerous. I myself have been in friendships that could be considered dangerous if they had been left to, you know, if I didn't have discernment and being able to, you know, see that it might be time to move on, there might be some underlying things. What are you teaching your daughters, your girls about friendships and what to look out for as far as healthy friendships, you know, jealousy, underlying things? You know, we got the Shanquillas and the Kanika Jenkins, and we got all these different examples of how sometimes friendships can be actually really a dangerous thing if they are not handled properly. How do you navigate that with teaching your girls, how to operate in this world?
They're watching how I handle things, and I'm noticing that they're very firm in their friendships. My 9-year-old, she has a group of friends, and they were talking every day. And I noticed that they stopped talking. So, I asked her, like, what happened to so-and-so and so-and-so? And she was just like, well, she's too bossy. And I had to let her go. So I was like, well, just like that, you let her go. She was just like, yeah, she's always trying to tell me what to do. And she thinks she can run everybody, and she can't run me. So I told her I don't want to be her friend anymore. And, I was proud of her.
I was about to say, yes, I love that.
I was proud of her because she's already strong enough to not let anyone walk over her.
I know that's right.
So obviously I'm teaching them the right way, things to pay attention to, how some friends can be, an angel in disguise and could be the devil. You don't even know who they really are, or, could just be so nice, but have hidden agendas. So this is something that I do speak on, with them frequently. And I check in with them. I ask them, who are your friends? Who you hanging out? What y'all be talking about? What y'all be doing? And I am the mom that will go through your phone and check and see what y'all talking about, what y'all doing, but I can say that they are making good decisions in, navigating through friendships as far as now. And I do think it's a part of being open with them and my experiences as well, because it's showing them, different situations, and hey, I don't want that to happen to me, or I don't want to have to go through that. So they're learning early what to avoid and, what to accept.
I feel as though, obviously that was a proud mama moment for sure, because at 9 years old, I was just like, I probably would have been somewhere like, my friend, you know what I mean? And she's like, well, no, she trying to boss me around. She doesn't accept my boundaries. So she don't get access to me. And that right there,
right,
that's, man, it took me to get 30 years older to learn that. So that's a blessing. Okay. For real. So, do you feel like your girls are, do you think that they are mourning or missing any of the people that you have disconnected from? Because I'm sure they have some type of relationship with your kids.
I think initially they did. It was hard for all of us. I think that we all had a hard time dealing with it. Are we going to talk to them again? And you still not talking to this person, and y'all still ain't make up yet.
Isn't that hard?
And
oh my
it was hard, but I'm not the one. I didn't keep my children away from them. I would never keep them away from someone that they love. But we all had to pretty much just be strong and just, I had to let them know that things like that does happen. You lose people, you gain people, you lose people. Some things you never will get answers to, and you're just going to have to move on.
Hindsight is always 20/20. And the whole point of us learning these lessons is so that it can be easier for the little ones coming up.
Exactly.
And it seems like that's working. So, hey, I'm all for it.
So it's so scary, you know what I'm saying? Because these kids are something else.
Yeah.
They're something else. They're doing things that you wouldn't even imagine at young ages. And I'm just like,
and it's like,
I'm exhausted.
We protect, or we try to protect the little ones from adults. But it's like, you can't keep them away from kids. You know what I mean?
You can't.
We don't know what these kids have been exposed to. We don't know what these kids, they could be struggling with stuff. And it's just like, it's hard.
They are.
But as long as you are doing your job, which it seems like you are, because Miss Mama's got her together. So period. I feel like as long as you're doing your job on your end, she's going to have the fortitude. They're both going to have the fortitude to be able to be like, hey, no, that don't rock over here. So,
okay. Very
that's amazing. So that's a kudos to not only your baby, but also to you. Come on, Mama. So, okay. One of the things I know that we did kind of want to talk about was the healing process, and also, the kind of like the depression or the mental the mental aspect of it. Like, I'm going through these changes. I'm a different person. I'm trying to navigate how that is, and I'm losing people who I thought would be core people for me in my life. You know, how did you navigate that? What's the part of your healing and your, you know, your journey towards that?
I will say this. I silently suffered depression for years. I'm talking about from childhood, teenage, early adult life, after kids, marriage, after marriage, you know, and I think that it took me so long to realize that's what was actually going on. It was depression, and nobody knew. I didn't even know. So it was really hard. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. So it was moments where I would probably be like all for something one minute, and then the next minute I'm just drowning in sorrow. And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I can't explain it to people. You know, maybe I didn't show up when everybody else did. But I was at home crying my eyeballs out and nobody knew. So, realizing that, and, I think what made me realize it was being introduced to spirituality. I tried different techniques to bring myself out of the darkest place that I was in. And once those techniques started to work, I don't know if it was just like me just thinking they were working or if they were actually working, but it helped me.
Yeah.
And, you
I
know,
don't know if it was a placebo or if it was actually
I was trying to find that word. Yes.
Yeah. But you're like, whatever it was.
It worked for me. Yeah. And so, you know, as I got deeper into it and really started to realize what life is truly about, that helped me out of the darkest place. And that's a place I never want to revisit. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I stay on a narrow path. It's so easy to get distracted and fall. I have my moments still where I may have a day where I'm just feeling like I don't know what's going on, but I'm finna scream. But you know, once I sit still and I really look at certain things to appreciate, it helps me change my focus and it helps me better, my mindset. I think that's the biggest challenge that I've ever faced, maintaining happiness. But I feel like that's the key to it all. Just choosing happy no matter what the situation is. Just always finding, it could be the smallest thing that could put a smile on your face. Maybe a thought that, you know, a happy thought that you have. But, you know, as soon as those thoughts, the negative thoughts try to re-enter my brain, I quickly have to do something, you know, to distract myself or I'm going to fall back into that hole. So that's been the biggest challenge for me, is just maintaining, because I know how I got out of it, you know, and I know I don't want to go back in it.
Right.
But, you know, just keeping on the wave is so hard.
And, you know, I feel like with peace, peace and happiness is something that we honestly don't understand how important. Those are invaluable things, to have happiness and to have peace while happy. Because there's some people who are happy, but they still don't have a peace inside. You know, it's like they're happy on the outside. You know, we see it all the time. People who actually are genuinely seem happy, but they're having inner turmoil, which is normal. We all experience those things, but it's like just finding that peace of mind. But also, this is something that I've been battling with, is I don't want to have toxic positivity. I'm an extremely optimistic person. I'm an extremely positive person. I'm the person that sees the good in every situation. I know that everything is working for my good, even when it don't seem like it. That's just how I am. But as I navigate the world and other people, I have to understand that it doesn't see the world in that way. And also that it is okay to feel down sometimes. Like, it is okay to be like, dang, I'm disappointed. Dang, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm anxious. You know, it's okay to do that. And although that's not necessarily my cup of tea, learning to navigate the different ways that people deal with things is just something that I personally am working on when it comes to me being a better friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing, I feel like finding peace is finding you. I honestly believe that once you find you, you figure you out. it's a different type of peace that comes with that, because you're no longer trying to keep up with anything else, or, it's like you have to be blind to the outside to really focus and find out who you truly are to the core. And I think that once you figure that out, you're at peace, that's complete peace for me. So that's been my journey, just figuring me out, trying to find out what works for me, what doesn't work, who doesn't work, who does work, what I like, what I don't like, even different foods and just the smallest things you can think of. I just want to be truly me and live that out loud. And I think that once you discover yourself and you have like a tremendous amount of self-love, that's peace.
Okay, so as we are about to close this out, I just got one more question.
Okie dokie. Okay.
What are you doing? How and what ways do you make friends after 30?
That is so hard. I have trust issues. I have deeply rooted trust issues. You do one little thing, meeting a new friend, it's a wrap.
I will say this.
I will say this. I met a friend, and I think I was 31 when I met her. We ended up working together. We had a lot of similarities. We had a lot in common. And this is when I started to really get into like herbs and, holistic things or whatnot. And she was interested in it too, as I was learning. And, this is somebody that I just knew, but I would invite her over to my house and she'll ask for little things, like, oh, can I have a little bit of lavender? Or can I have a little bit of this? Can I have a little bit of that? I'm like, sure, here you go. Try it. Try this. Whole time she was practicing to do exactly what I was doing with my own, like stealing my ideas immediately. No. You're being weird. You cannot be my friend. I don't want to be your friend.
That's a different level right there.
Thank you. I'm like, you could have easily said like, hey, I'm interested and I want to learn how to do it too. But you nothing about your own. Like, why are you using my stuff? And then the crazy part about it is
Audacity is on sale. I'm
telling you, like you got one time to act weird as a new friend, it is a wrap. So it is so challenging. I haven't met any new friends past 30. Yeah. Well, except for her. So she was the only and last friend that I had. And that makes me like really closed off. Cause I have people that's like, oh, you should come here, or you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, I don't know. I got to talk to you 102 more times on the phone. You know what I'm saying? To see how you are. I really got to feel you out.
Like I'm opposite, because I feel like on the phone, that can be easily. I need to be around you. I need to see how you actually operating. I need to see how you treat people, how you treating the waiters, how you treating the staff.
That's a big one. That's a big one. How people talk to people that service them.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things to pay attention to. And that would tell you so much about a person's character. Yes, that's a big one.
Well, I say, just an encouragement for you, try little baby steps, get out there, make some more friends, because there's still people who need to be Ashley, still people that need to, just because this person has, tainted, recently tainted your image of friendships, it's still people out here that need your wisdom, your encouragement, your friendships, your laughs. So don't make them miss out on experiencing you because of this other person. Right. So just try.
You are absolutely right.
Just try. It's something that I moved to a whole nother state. And that, in and of itself was interesting, navigating friendships. But honestly, if you have hobbies, which it seems like you do, it's not that hard. All you have to do is get into groups with the people that like what you like. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. But you know what? I'm friendly. I'm a very friendly person, but being intimate with somebody is like, having that intimate friendship is very challenging for me. But I am trying to open up. I did say I need to, maybe do things alone. And maybe I would meet different people as I do things by myself, because sometimes I always feel like I got to have a partner to do certain things, but I'm starting to, go on dinner dates by myself, or, maybe go to the library and chill. Yeah. So, that is a start, but I do have some work to do when it comes to accepting new people and opening up to new people. I always have a guard up. So
you should. I mean, you're supposed to guard yourself. Like you said, people out here are strange, weird, and we kind
my
of
guard
have to.
is like paranoia. Okay. Like it is. I'm so paranoid when it comes to meeting and being around and trusting new people to where it kind of drives me insane because
I'm not laughing. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
No, it does. I feel like I'm a crazy ass person because it's like I'm thinking so beyond what you may think I'm thinking. Yeah. Like, yeah. And so I would go with that, with what I thought. And that'll be it. Like, you know what? My man wouldn't tell me this for no reason. So I'm just chill. But I'm working on that. I'm getting better. I will say that.
Yes. Well, I definitely have enjoyed this conversation. We had some technical difficulties and all that, but it still was worth it. Mm-hmm. And I really hope that myself and you are able to find people that are trustworthy, that are patient with us as we learn how to, talk and get ourselves together, and just willing to grow with us as we do discover and find ourselves, because that's what we're trying to do.
I swear. And our tribe.
Oh, go ahead. Exactly. I mean, we need people. We have to remember that we need people.
We do.
Well, I think this is a great place to go ahead and end this episode. Did you have any parting words for the audience?
I just hope everyone can get something from this conversation, because I think it was a good one. And I hope there's more to come between you and I.
Absolutely. Definitely. We can get some different topics going. Mm-hmm. We're going to get you some Wi-Fi. Yeah, you have me stressed up here.
The shade. No, just play.
That's a little shade with a little sip. But yes, definitely, man. We can make that happen for sure.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
I did too, and thank you so much for having me.
No problem, honey bun. Well, I guess this will be the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.
Bye. Bye.